I've been using the Sony Xperia 1 IV for a while now, and honestly, this phone is a perfect example of something Sony does really well, and really stubbornly. The design is absolutely beautiful, with flat sides, matte glass, sharp edges, and no curves anywhere. It feels less like a lifestyle accessory and more like a precision tool. Sony is one of the few brands still doing things that no one else is doing anymore. A 3.5mm headphone jack, micro SD card slot, front-facing stereo speakers, a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and yes, a physical camera shutter button. That already tells you who this phone is for, someone who cares about control and quality. The display is classic Sony, a tall 21:9 4K OLED panel, 6.5 inches, 3840 by 1644 resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 240 Hz touch sampling rate. Colors are incredibly sharp and accurate, tuned more for creators than flashy saturation. It's clean, controlled, and professional, not a screen that tries to wow in a store demo. There's a trade-off though, no adaptive refresh rate below 60 Hz, so you're stuck at either 60 or 120 Hz, which can impact battery life if you're gaming or streaming. Speaking of battery, it's solid but not revolutionary, with a 5000 mAh capacity, 30-watt wired charging, and 15-watt wireless charging. You can get through a full day if you're careful, but heavy use, especially shooting videos or gaming, will make you reach for a charger sooner. It's perfectly acceptable, just not spectacular in 2023. The camera system and video capabilities are what make this phone truly stand out. The Xperia 1 IV has triple rear cameras with identical feature sets, real-time IAF, 20 frames per second burst shooting, 4K HDR video on all lenses, and a variable telephoto zoom from 85mm to 125mm. It also includes Zeiss optics, optical steady shot with flawless eye, AI super resolution zoom, and Cinema Pro 4K recording at 120 frames per second with up to 5 times slow motion. The front camera is 12 megapixels, while the rear cameras are primary 12 megapixels f1.7 24mm, secondary 12 megapixels f2.2 ultra-wide 16mm, tertiary 12 megapixels f2.3 to 2.8 variable telephoto, and a 3D eye-TOF sensor. Optical image stabilization, dual-pixel PDAF, and real-time IAF make this phone a powerhouse for photography enthusiasts. This isn't a point-and-shoot device. Auto mode can be inconsistent, HDR sometimes misses, and colors occasionally need adjustment. To get the best results, you need manual control, shoot raw, and edit sometimes afterward. When used properly, it delivers natural colors, smooth highlight roll-off, and genuinely cinematic videos. Whether you're shooting stills or 4K video, this camera rewards effort and control. Performance is solid but not flawless. Daily tasks, multitasking, browsing, and streaming are all smooth, but under heavy gaming or extended load, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 shows thermal throttling. It's not a deal-breaker, but it doesn't fully live up to Sony's marketing claims as a gaming phone. Software-wise, the Xperia 1 IV runs very close to stock Android, clean, minimal, and functional, but long-term support is disappointing, with only 2 years of OS updates and 3 years of security patches. At this price point, competitors like Samsung, Google, and Apple are far ahead in terms of longevity. Hardware details are impressive. The phone measures 165mm by 71mm by 8.2mm, weighs 191 grams, and has Corning Gorlavictus Pro protection front and back with IP68 water and dust resistance. RAM options are 12GB, storage options are 256GB or 512GB, expandable via microSD. Connectivity includes 5G sub 6 GHz, Bluetooth 5.x, dual-band Wi-Fi ABC NGAC, NFC, GPS, GLONASS, and Galileo. The audio setup is excellent with full-range front-firing stereo speakers, Dolby Atmos, high-res audio, 360 reality audio on speakers, and 360 spatial sound over headphones. The Xperia 1 IV is a niche phone designed for creators, photographers, and anyone who wants full control and doesn't mind putting in the work. For everyone else, there are cheaper, more polished options that handle everyday tasks with less effort. But for Sony fans, this is Sony at its most Sony: stubborn, precise, and unapologetically different.